All right. Okay, just testing my audio levels. This is so weird. What's up, Beninja? How's it going? Just getting the drawing glove on. Fire Red Gaming, how's it going? Splatter Spark, how's it going? Science Boy, how's it going? I'm going to have to fix where my drawing pad is located in the future because it is way too off. There's my mouse. RXD, how's it going? Astra, how's it going? How is it going, everybody? Daisy, yeah. Well, we're back. We're finally done moving for the most part. Do that. Yeah, so I'm officially moved out of my old place. I'm moved into my new location. I'm in a garage. And you know, but I'm fully moved out of my old place, and now I just got to organize my new place. But we're gonna do a little bit of a shorter, you know, just Saturday stream just to update you guys, because I tried to do a phone stream and it did not go well. Also, just kind of testing out how the drawing pad feels right here, all that. As for the new episode, so the current game plan, I'm not sure how viable this is going to be. I'm going to try my best. Is that I currently have written out like almost 2 episodes. I'm trying to get the 3rd or 4th written, and I basically want to take all of the rest of December here. And then I guess most of the week of January. How does January work? Okay, it would be in 3 weeks. So basically, I want to prepare 4 episodes for you guys. I want to, I'm going to pop out the chat here so I don't have to stare at numbers in my face. Yeah, so I want to prepare 4 episodes for you guys. Basically, the entirety of the tournament arc, and then the final reveal of who Ash's 6th official team member is going to be. And so that would roughly, more or less, be over the course of 4 episodes. You know, in our usual new time, 10-minute frame, you know? Not like 30 minutes on each episode. And ideally, in January, I would release 1 episode at the end of every week. I'm not sure how viable that's going to be. It will all depend, because, I mean, I can definitely get the next episode done. I'm debating it because January is also a very brutal month for views. So I might not do that and save like an event like that for the league. But basically, I'm aiming to get 4 episodes of the tournament done relatively quick. And even if I don't do the 4 episodes, 1 a week, I would still space it out in a way where you guys would still get all the episodes, you know, relatively quick, but it would just be once every 2 weeks. That just gives you a little bit more padding time to, you know, make sure the episodes are perfect. Because, as you can see, it's a new environment. How are my audio levels to you guys? Do I sound different than I have in past streams? Does it kind of sound a little echoey and stuff? Feel free to be honest about it, because I'm going to have to record in here. So I got to know what steps I got to take to, you know, do that. Irontail, Pikachu got Irontail in Gen 3. So no time soon. And Kumawaga, I gotta see the new episode. I saw it was live, and I was like, I'll just wait till it's out. And then I went live, and I saw it was out, and I was like, damn it! All right, I'll watch it after. So the 6 member will probably be the prize Pokemon trial. As you give it to a traveling man, there would be no other reason to set up a prize Pokemon. It's good. Sounds fine to me. All right, cool. Little echoey, but overall great. Good to know. Good to know. Who is Ash's ace? He does not have one. There are no aces on these teams. Every team member is important. You know, we'll have certain power rankings of, you know, how strong certain people are. But there is no true ace. What happened to on Wednesday? Just shit signal. What's up, G1 Quiznos? Yeah, I tried streaming on my phone in my garage and just, you know, it was just a bad signal. So I lost signal pretty quick. I also had a bunch of people in my house, so that was probably eating up signal as well. And so that's why I didn't just like try and restart the stream. I was like, fuck it, just, you know, it's close enough to Saturday soon that I will have a Saturday stream like this where we can properly go over everything. Everything is super like janky for me because I'm unused to like, so I used to have like an L desk. I only have a regular desk right now, and I'm down to 3 monitors instead of 4. So I'm kind of like little like, you know, figuring everything out. Also, my drawing pad is a little too far to my right, not center of my desk for when I like bring it down. So I don't have a lot of mouse to work with. So what's up, Axolotl guy? Mohammed, how's it going? So the ace in fight depends on the opponent's team instead of having one that is clearly stronger than the other. It's kind of like there's no like it's kind of a weird situation. Like it's I guess there's no ace. Like theoretically the ace, I guess, is whoever Ash sends out last. That's the ace of that specific fight. So, like, I guess in a way that would be, you know, the ace because it's the final team member. But, you know, don't always count on it because I might switch things up on you. If Ash could have an ideal team, what would he pick? Probably something close to Red, where he'd have all 3 Kanto starters. He'd have, like, Snorlax, like, maybe a Dragonite, you know, Rhydon, like, stuff like that, you know, powerful Pokemon. Are you going to explain Psyduck and Tangela's side quest eventually? Yeah, eventually we'll explain it. An idea for shiny Pokemon of Ash? Yeah, no, I already know exactly what it's to be, because I already got the Johto team fully figured out and fleshed out, and I know what it is. Will Ash's Pikachu keep Volt Tackle? I personally wasn't a fan of it losing its signature move. Yeah, I think it will. It, I haven't really fully decided on Pikachu's moveset. I think by the time Pikachu kind of, like, fully develops a moveset, like, where it has Volt Tackle, I think I'll have upped my number to 8 moves for more creativity on my own part. Because even 6 moves feels very restricting. But we're going to stick through it throughout, like, Kanto. Maybe even Johto, too. What I think of the new Megas, they're freaking awesome. Like, I felt like they didn't really cook too hard in the first batch. There were great ones. There were some okay ones, but a lot more mid ones than cool ones. I haven't seen one I disliked in the new batch. I was like, where were you holding these? What do you think the Palatine Trio favorite Pokemon were when they were children? I think Green's was Primeape. I think she liked how aggressive it was. Or she was like standard. She was just kind of like Charizard because it was like a cool fire dragon. Or Tauros. I think Gary would like his grandpa's Alakazam. So I think Alakazam was his favorite. For Ash, it was always Blastoise. It's why that's why he wanted it to be his starter. It's why if like he got to choose, he would have chosen Squirtle, which is canon, by the way. Not just for my verse, but well, it's not canon. Ash wanting to choose Squirtle was canon to the actual anime. You know, not my reasoning behind it, but you know, the thing. All right, I'm gonna move this. I got this massive bottle. I'm going to move this glass bottle out of the way. I have not played Mega Dimensions yet. I've been too busy moving and also trying to get you to work on this video for you guys. I've not had time to play Mega Dimensions. You know what? I've thought I have. You know, I have had this thought for once we reach Unova, Ash will be chosen by Zekrom, like OG, or take a different spin and be chosen by Reshiram. You know, I won't say what happens in Unova. I got a rough idea of how it goes, but we'll see. If that's the case, why Sabrina told me she's the strongest Pokemon being Ninetales each. No, that doesn't mean she's the ace. Here's the thing. You're confusing strength with ace. That's not, those are two separate things. You know, like Ninetales at the time of where he was his strongest Pokemon. No questions. What, Psyduck was supposed to do something? Tangela? Like, the only one probably could get close is Pikachu, and even then, she's still a fully evolved Pokemon. Like, are we back? There was a momentary lag. Are we still good? I just got a notification that said OBS disconnect and then OBS reconnected. Streaming in here is gonna be fun. I think we're still good. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, so ace does not mean strength. Like, when I think ace, I'm thinking Greninja, Infernape, you know, like, the Charizard, like, the guys who are, like, we're the main characters on the team, and fuck everybody else. Like, no, there's none of that here, jeez. Like, Ninetales, like, you can rank, like, just because there's no ace doesn't mean you couldn't just rank everybody by how strong they are. You know, that is something you can do, because strength level, there is a modicum of power scaling that I do in this series to keep things realistic. Like, you're not going to see Ash suddenly pull out a win against, like, Lance's Dragonite right now because he believes in himself and Pikachu and really hard, and it's like, no, it makes no sense. Yeah, when I think of aces, I think of main characters. Generally, they've been the strongest on the team, but, like, we'll have strength levels. Poor Flygon needed a Mega Evolve. Nah, fuck Flygon. I'm so happy I didn't get it. I didn't get a Mega Evolution. Her opinion will be taken into consideration, but more than likely discarded. That's my motto. We're close to to the 1 year anniversary of episode 1. What happened? Did the stream go down? Okay. Just wanted my preview. Has Ash heard of Ash has heard of other regions. He doesn't really know a lot of them. Yeah. So Ash has heard other regions. He just doesn't know anything about them. Like, he doesn't really know what Pokemon reside there, what goes on there. You know, for him, it's just like, you know, it's like knowing Denmark exists, but knowing nothing about Denmark. If Green doesn't win the league, I'm going to be pretty mad. We'll see. Most likely because we saw the tourists from the region, like, realistically we would be seeing Gen 9 Pokemon. Yeah, so I basically do my best not to reveal Pokemon from future gens like that. Like, the closest you'll see usually is a gen ahead. You know, it doesn't mean I won't make references to, like, other, you know, future regions. Like, I can make a Unova reference in Kanto right now if I wanted to. Like, you could see a magazine with, like, you know, Bryson on it for all I care, you know, like, but, like, you're not gonna see, like, you know, Rowlet chilling in Gen 1. The closest you'll ever see is a gen ahead. The problem with Mega Flygon is, yeah, no, it is kind of funny when people complain, like, when I see people who create Mega Evolutions complain about, you know, Mega Evolution designs, it kind of is funny because it's a weird, like, Ouroboros situation where it's like, cool, you've created all the cool Mega Pokemon designs that Pokemon can't use anymore because then they'd be copying your fan art. Will the GS Ball have importance? I don't know yet. I gotta work on Jonah's story before thinking about that. Yeah, Professor Oak has a full team in the ATR. So I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but I know some major players. So the major players on Oak's team are his Kangaskhan, his Tauros, his Alakazam, and that's all I got off the top of my head without looking into things. I don't know if I've written down his full team yet, but yeah. Yeah, like, Beedrill was closest to probably, like, an ace thing, but even then, it was kind of one of those things where, like, the reason why he got more prominent spotlight is because I wanted to emotionally torture you guys for when he got released. If the anime had level system like in the games, what do you think the average level of Ash and Leon's team in their fight would be? Probably comparable to, like, Elite Four champion stuff, like in games, like 60s. I don't think they'd be that high. Thoughts on the Game Awards winners / game announcements? I have not paid attention to that. I've been moving. Has Legends EA changed the original Kalos team plans? Yes and no. So, like, what you guys don't know is how much like, you guys know the Kalos team I posted in the video. You don't know how much I reworked it now. It's tough. But from that rework team, there's going to be some changes and adjustments made based on the new megas that are out. I will tell you guys, for everyone who goes, what if Beedrill returned as a mega? Your boy already had thought of that. I'm not going with it, but it was one of my original ideas I had for the Kalos team. So don't worry, I get you. Are you going to give Ash a dark type since in the Gen 2 games you could only find them in the Kanto region post-game? Possibly. We'll see. It's an early bug by the time we'll be really rusty about it thanks to years apart. Like, I mean, like, when you like, my thought process was for Splatterspark when it comes to Beedrill rejoining Ash, it's not like he reached the upper echelons of strength in a region. He dipped out before Gym 4, and at most he participated in 2 gyms. So, like, it's not like if Ash got him back, he'd be, like, level 60 going against level, like, you know, 10 Pokemon. At most, I would just, like, in my head, up the strength of, like, Viola's first gym more, you know, a little bit, where she's more of a fight, while Beedrill's, like, it's not even that he's just rusty, he just never reached the levels of strength needed to, like, get to a, like Beedrill right now could not participate in the league. You know, he would not be strong enough. It's like, literally, it's like he kind of just stopped progressing like that. He's not, like, training or anything right now. He's just protecting the colony. Honestly, I hope you don't even include the GSBL because you have to include Celebi and then you'll have a whole time travel you have to work out. Charizard is Ash's ace, not my series. I got some I got some ideas for Celebi stuff I'm going to do because obviously movies are a thing. Don't know what I don't know exactly if I'm going to do GS Ball shenanigans or what it would represent, but we'll see. Did I get around to seeing Ash vs. Yugi Death? Yep. Went exactly as I thought I would. You know, everyone and their mothers. Quick hand in the air. Spoilers for the Yugi versus Ash death battle. I'm warning you right now, I'm going to be saying stuff about it because I have opinions. So once again, spoilers for the Yugi vs. Ash death battle and their results. Alright? We good? We understand? Cool. Yeah, no, there's no fucking way Ash Ketchum was winning that. Every Ash fan was delusional, thinking he was gonna beat the king of goddamn games. Oh my god. I am so vindicated that they even included a segment when everyone's like, Ash has hands! Like, Ash just beat him up, you know, because Ash Ketchum is so like that. It's like, my god, like, Ash Ketchum has not won a fist fight in his fucking life. Like, people act like this man is Baki or Rock Lee out here and stuff. It's like, no. Oh my god, it was so, it just, everything I ever wanted to. The only reason that fight didn't happen like that is because Yugi could have realistically wiped him from the fucking field immediately. Gandora, board wipe, you know, or Mirror Force. But like, we need a fight to actually happen, so we got to make it seem back and forthy when it really wasn't. Will you include every Pokemon that exists at least once in the series, or are there some Pokemon that there's a chance we may never see? The question involves the whole series. I mean, like, I'm not the anime where I have that requirement for, like, journeys or something. I think that's just a big burden on the series to have to put there, where it's like, I gotta make sure every Pokemon appears. It's like, I'll use the Pokemon that work for what it is and not include the one, you know, like, that don't appear. Like, it's kind of like just whatever Pokemon I need, I'll use. It's really it. Yuki was lucky Beedrill wasn't around. Oh, this is also canon Ash, not my Ash. Maybe my Ash might have gone differently and stuff. Is they hype Ash way too bloody much in that fight? Yeah, exactly. Like, they have to make it seem like Ash has a shot, because otherwise it's thing. Also, it's like, we include, like, the way they don't scale, like, power scalers in general do stupid stuff like that, where it's like when Ash threw the log, like, we're going to count that as if Ash has that relative strength throughout the entirety of Pokemon, and he's not, you know, like, like, that's an actual thing. Or like holding up the cosmic baby that weighs 10 trillion pounds, or, you know, it's like, guys, it's just not, it doesn't weigh that much. Like, if Ash actually was that strong, he could just break Pokemon with his bare hands or rip the bars off the cages Team Rocket puts Pikachu in. And he never does that. Like, he is not that strong. Like, every time you see Ash do one of those superhuman feats, it's just gag cartoon logic. It's not actual stuff. What character do you prefer, Ash or Yuki? Yuki, 100%. Oh my god. No, what level is the current team at? Probably around like 30s to 40s. Low 40s, high 30s. Have you all thought about the fact that Dolly's not covering the possible filler episodes? Yeah, it is a thing, yeah. I almost had a filler episode. I actually almost had a filler episode right now where it was Ash, Green, and Gary shenanigans in Ninja Town. But I ultimately decided not to do that and stuff. That was, you know, it's just, I was like, I'd rather us, like, get to important stuff. And also, like, I had nothing really going for that episode, and it just didn't feel, like, good. Yeah, it felt like getting an episode out to get it out and stuff, and it was not satisfying when I wrote it. In your verse, does the Pokemon we now see in the series, will they appear in off-camera filler? It's still a world, guys. Like, it's still, like, this isn't, like, I'm not writing, like, a show here where only what happens on screen matters. It's, like, it's a full world going on right now. Like, Pokemon exist. Just because we don't see them doesn't mean they don't exist. Like, it's a full working world. You know? This is less drawing and more just, you know, me playing questionnaire, because I just, you know, I don't focus. Do something. So awkward. The drawing pad's not in the right place. There's one competitor down. Yeah. So I'm gonna move the drawing pad. Let me catch up. Have you thought about, yeah, and you reversed it. Yeah, okay. Speaking of journeys, I hope we do more Galar in your series. Yeah, I want to do something with Galar. Would Ash and Red get along? They're the same person in my verse. I mean, like, they're literally, in the world, in the grand scheme of Pokemon, when people talk about Ash and Red, you realize you're also talking about, like, Blue and Gary. So it's, like, kind of like, yeah, I mean, like, manga Red and my Ash would get along, I think, yeah. In reason, though Yu-Gi-Oh! Ash will never happen, they probably, would probably get along. You know, I always hate that shit. Like, when we're trying to like, when people are trying to, like, blood sport people, like, death battle them, and we go, like, well, in canon, they'd probably get along. It's like, yeah, but who cares about that? I don't want to watch two guys get along. I want to watch them kill each other in Minecraft. Also, since when Pokemon was accurate on one Herm's height average weight Pokemon. Yeah, exactly. How come Ash has a Charmander in the first video thumbnail? Clickbait? It is complete clickbait, because it's like, you know, people, you can look at it and be like, you made it seem like Ash was going to get a Charmander. I was like, no, I was just displaying all 3 starters plus all 3 trainers. It's not my fault if you interpret it as Ash getting a Charmander. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, it's clickbait. See, yeah, you're gonna get more Ash, Green, and Gary shenanigans. I have not read Festival of Champions fan manga. If Ash still meets Dia in the Sun and Moon rewrite, he could have Zeraora. Oh, okay. Dia is the Zeraora guy. Okay. I thought you said Dia. I thought Diamond from Pokemon Adventures. I was like, I love Diamond. He's like in my top 2 favorite Pokemon Adventures characters. Why would he be in Alola with a Zeraora? I was like, okay, yeah, now it makes sense. Yeah, possibly. What am I sorry? What's your opinion of these EA Megas? They're great. I love them. They have cooked on all the new ones. Okay, so let me explain why I just wrote Xano there. So you guys know my buddy, Samurai Trainer Z, aka Abdul. You know, he does the writing streams with me. He's also the guy who, like, helps bounce, he's the guy I bounce ideas off of along with my buddy Rose. So when it came to tournaments like this, you know, and leagues in the future, or just when you need trainers, I realized that, like, you don't want everybody to be a named character, because then it's expected they're all going to be important. Some people have to be scrubs. You need those one-off. You need the John Dixons in the league, you know? So my buddies, Samurai Trainer Z, Xanolith, Red Rose, he doesn't have a channel, but I've talked to you guys about Rose before, Aleximo, and Ionic Bond are going to be appearing in this tournament as NPCs. Their purpose is to be fodder. And and you'll see them throughout the rest of the series. So there's just this group of trainers that are going to the same locations as Ash and the gang, and their sole purpose is to lose. Do you have any idea for Ash to get a Ghost Water, Bessie Legion, Sinnoh, and Taia? I've debated whether Hisui Pokemon of Veer in Gen 4 or not. I'm not sure how I feel about it. The hard part about Yugi Atem in a fair fight is that, like, I feel like you have to power scale him against other monster summoners like that regard. You know, like, I feel like, sure, like, the minute you put Yugi against someone who can actually fight, like a Luffy, like an Ichigo, he loses. He has a lot of hacks, he has a lot of stuff, but I'm not sure if like you would have to power threshold the Millennium Puzzle's defenses against that person, and that's just complicated, you know? You really, what you're going for is deck versus whatever arsenal someone else has. Like, it shouldn't ever really have to come down to, what can my Millennium Puzzle do to kill you or protect myself? Like, that's where you should be focused at. I'm not sure. Jaden Yuki, actually. I'd put him against Jaden Yuki or Yusei Fudo. Those characters from those other animes. Yeah, it will be a rare Pokemon. It will not... don't worry. I will reveal at the end of the tournament, you guys will find out what the rare Pokemon was. And also, it will not be a joke. It will be a rare Pokemon for Kanto. It will not be just like, Pidgey, you know? Like, I wouldn't fake you guys out like that. This is a tournament. There's supposed to be hype. Like, you'll notice it a lot in some movies. But, or it shows where it's like people like to subvert expectations. They think that's a good way of going about stuff. Like, and a lot of people take it as, I'm going to subvert your expectations by completely going the opposite way of where I was directing the story. And that's supposed to be good. It's not. I've directed you guys. I've told you guys. I've explained to multiple times. The prize is a rare Pokemon. It will be a rare Pokemon. You know, like there was no trick here. There are no cards up my sleeves. You know, it is a very simple, like straight on the board. I would like, if I'm not gonna ever in these streams, I will never directly lie to you guys. I will either say I can't talk about it, or I will, you know, be a little coy about it, but it's very obvious when I'm being coy. But I'm never going to be like, yeah, Ash and Green are going to end up together at the end, and then they don't, you know? They're not, by the way. That's just me using a wild example. Wouldn't it be funny if the first battle Ash has in Johto against a Sudowoodo and does say it's not a grass type? That would be funny. Also, one of my favorite jokes in Death Battle was under Ash's likes, there's the Pokérole band you watch growing up. I saw that. That was funny. What's up, Ion? Welcome to the Dolly Garage. How many more Pokemon is Ash going to get? After his 6th Mon, he has at least 2 to 4 Mon he will catch. I think you were trying to show I think if you were to try it, no. The difference would be you're not trying to show 800 by the end of Kanto. We see every month. Nah, still too much work. That's another. That's like just so much work. I feel like that would curb down the narrative so hard. Like, be like, oh fuck, I need like 30 more showings of like 30 more different Pokemon and stuff. It's like, I'm not doing one-off episodes. Like, if I was doing filler, maybe, but I'm not. Yeah, John Dixon, you know, it's like his family makes that famous cider, Dixon cider. Are you planning to make a random Zach Kettle cameo for the future ATR? Yeah, if you Dollywop will make an appearance in the ATR. He will not be important at all. Like, me and my friends here, like I said, like Ion here, like, we're all fodder or not important, like, there to take up space. You know, so, like, unlike my friends, I'm not even going to be a trainer, you know? Like, Dollywop in this universe failed so hard about being a trainer. He has a box on his head that he wears in shame so no one recognizes him, and he works as, like, a Pokemart in Cherry Grove. Like, that's what Dollywop is up to in this verse. Do you watch the Ink Tank Ben 10 5 Years Later series? Yes, love the Ink Tank. Love 5 Years Later. It's such a great thing. So kind of like Panda Man from One Piece, just with more relevance. Yeah, exactly. Good. I hate when OCs win stuff over actual characters. Yeah. Don't give Ash Hisui type Lotion. No, he's already had Cyndaquil. Is it Eevee? We'll see. Already have some guesses. Gary wins a tournament and gets a Genie. We'll see. On everybody's soul, it's an Aerodactyl. We'll see. Demiko. I see that message retracted. I don't know what that says because YouTube doesn't give me the power to force that to tell me what it says. How would you feel about giving Ash one fire, water, or grass starter? I'm not against it. Like, it's not an ultimate goal of myself that Ash has to have one starter that he never caught before in each region. If I do use a starter for Ash, like say Blaziken or Swampert in Hoenn or Empoleon in Sinnoh, etc., etc., if I do, just know that I did it for the sake of the team and that it made sense on the team, and it's going to be written in a way to prevent it from appearing too main character-like. Like, it would definitely be more of a static Pokemon. Like, no, by static Pokemon, I mean, like, Cubone and Tangela are pretty solid mons. Like, they're not set up right now to have, like, these Ninetales and Golduck level narrative, arcs. Obviously. But they have strong personalities, and that's kind of their purpose. If I do starters, those are probably the roles they would take place on the teams. I wouldn't use them to have like a narrative like that, if only because I think starters take an automatic star power focus on a lot of teams, and they're almost expected to be the aces. So, like, I try and prevent that because, like, it's one thing for me to tell you guys there are no aces. It's another thing for me to narratively write that. And so what I don't want is for newer viewers to come in and be like, that's the ace of the team, you know? Now, I don't mind if someone thinks that. It's not like I can change their thoughts and all that, like, but, like, just because in the narrative, you'll see things like Ninetales is currently Ninetales is relatively the strongest member. I think Golduck, once he comes into his own, can match her at the moment because of his psychic power and his fully evolved thing. But Ninetales at the moment is the strongest team member. And she can kind of shoot ahead of Golduck in my mind if she and Ash work together. That's what's kind of holding her back. Allergies, sorry. My nose got stuffy. But, like, because Ninetales is the current power level strongest, that doesn't mean if, say, in the league, Ash's final league match of Kanto, it's not going to come down to Ninetales versus, like, Gary's Blastoise, you know? I'm not saying I'd never have a fight like that, but I'm trying to avoid doing that by default because it's also what's expected, you know? Because in my mind, a fight isn't just, okay, use all the weak guys first, and then the strongest comes out and stuff. That's just kind of narratively unsatisfying. It's one of my problems with XY. Beautiful fights. XY and XYZ have beautiful fights, but it always, when I watch gym battles, it always feels like we're just kind of getting through everybody else so we can get to the main 1v1. Which at that point, I'm just like, do the 1v1. I don't really care. I don't need to see the other Pokemon just put on fancy light shows because they don't matter. There's already an artist in this verse. That's not me. Yep, MHA anime is officially over. God bless you, MHA. You're a great series. I want to see any Alote. What if Ash called a shoot? I don't know. Is that English? I don't know what any of that means. If Ash and Gary teamed up, could they beat Green in a fist fight? It'd be tough, but yes. Like, Green is cartoon levels of strength, and she also doesn't want to hurt her friends. So if Gary and Ash were bloodlusted and stuff, this was all out, you know. I think between the two of them, they've had to corral Green and, like, restrain her from doing stupid stuff. So they have experience in taking Green down. They haven't fist fought her. You know, they haven't beat the fuck out of Green, but it's more like holding her back from doing stupid stuff. If Gary is kind of the book smart of the Paladin trainers, will you make him, for him, an expression that looks like the nerd emoji meme? That's funny. Possibly. I'll do a smart guy meme. You know, maybe I'll do like the anime tinted glad, like, just according to my plans. I'm guessing Chestnut's the exception because Kalos doesn't have any Pokemon to begin with. No, actually. I mean, who's to say Chestnut's still on the team? I mean, I love his new Mega, don't get me wrong, but who's to say, like, I've completely revamped the Kalos arc of how it's supposed to go. So, like, that's a different Ash Ketchum than we have at all right now. That is like the story arcs Ash goes on to get to that Kalos Ash. That Kalos Ash is such a different character than what we have right now. When we get to Johto, I can see you introducing the berries as their modern version. Ash refuses to learn the names, calling Pecha Berry Poison Cure Berry as a reference to the Gen 2 names. That'd be funny. I like that, Jason. I'll see if I remember to do that, but that's funny. Cubone is becoming an Alola Marowak, ain't she? I don't know. I don't think so. I think like you guys know me. I prefer evolution when it comes to Ash's Pokemon. What's up, Alex? Ooh, hold on. Wait, get rid of that. Just so I can make sure. Wait, where's right here? There. Modded Alex so I can see when he's in chat and not get lost. Always mod your friends, folks. It shows favoritism. Yeah, so, like, you guys know me. I prefer... So, whenever your question is, will a Pokemon evolve? Most likely the answer is yes. It's just a question of when. Like, obviously, Tangela is not going to evolve in Kanto, because Tangrowth is a Gen 4 Pokemon. So, at the earliest, it'd be Battle Frontiers when Tangela evolves, just like I did in my video. Cubone is going to evolve at some point. I prefer to treat evolution in my series as if... Like, evolution is a natural form of growth. It is maturity, it is puberty, it is not just a different mode and you have to, like, choose whether you want it or not. You know, it's like it's growth. It's like, it's part of the life cycle of a Pokemon. You'll never see, remember the Trico episode in Advanced where there was this really old Trico? It's not a thing in my verse. That would be an old Sceptile, you know, like, it is, I don't like, you know, just Pokemon refusing to evolve for no reason, you know? Now, there are some exceptions. Stone evolutions, trade item evolutions, like Pokemon that require external things to evolve. That's not, like, unnatural for them to do. Some have ritual ways of doing it, like the Clefairy with the giant moonstone. It's a part of their culture, so to speak, where the Clefairy go and are able to evolve based on the giant moonstone. Some Pokemon have things like that. Like, there's obviously the Mossy Rock and the Icy Rock, which I would rework into being a giant leaf stone and an ice stone, like that Eevees could evolve into Glaceons and all that, and Leafeons. Yeah, just so much snot. But you know, like, so there are exceptions. Like, I have ways that Magmar and Electabuzz in the wild would evolve to Magmortar and Electivire that don't require the Magmarizer and the Electrizer, whatever it's called. But I view evolution as a natural part of a Pokemon's life. You know, it doesn't mean, like, if you require items, you never truly have to evolve. You know, it's good for you, but, like, your development and growth kind of stops at a certain point because there's only so far you can go without evolution. What badges does Gary have? He has everybody's but Blaine's and Giovanni's. Ninetales actually swallowed a Firestone and was pissed ever since. Yeah, basically. What's up, Stefan? Me in the Pokemonverse, hone range of my stats to shiny Trico. Nice. Power scaling green, Gary and Ash. Exactly. There's no need for an Ash form since Mega 6. Exactly. I'd never go in Ash form. I don't like the Ash form. I better see Meowstic on his Coliseum, such an underrated mon. Don't worry. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say whether Meowstic's there or not and stuff, but I do love Meowstic. Meowstic is a Pokemon in general that is very close to my heart. We're doing good, CMA nerd. Harris, even no matter how many times, like Harris, obviously you're one of like I got familiar faces in these chat where like I know you guys, like I recognize you every time. I know every time you come in. I still fuck up the names every time where I'm like, yeah, I just call Harris because of his like how your name's written or stuff. Splatterspark, I call you Splatterspark every time, you know. But like I'll still like no matter how many times G1 Quiznos appears in here, I still call him G1 Quiznos and stuff. It always takes me a moment, you know, instead of just going Quiznos. Or the one Axolotl guy, where I'll read your full name instead of just going Axolotl guy, because it'll take me a moment to get through the name where I recognize Axolotl guy. Yeah, it took you long enough to... Yeah, well, you know, I'm lazy. I also forget a lot. With all the new Mega, will they be incorporating the ATR? They're available. Every Mega that's been revealed in ZA is available for me to use in Kalos, and that's because they don't ruin anything. Like, and by that I mean, like, there's not some secret thing in ZA with the new Megas that would, like, be, like, that would take you out of Kalos. There are just more Megas available, you know? It's not like using Electivire in Gen 1 and stuff. It's just like, oh, now I have more Megas available, because it's sort of like, why wouldn't I be able to use them? I won't say whether all the new Megas are incorporated, but it just expands my roster of Megas that I can distribute. Yes, I prefer the take on evolution. It's much better to have character growth than having a choice to evolve or not. Exactly. What kind of battle style is Gary, Ash, and Green's go-to? Green is a brutalizer. She's still smart. She still thinks on her feet. You know, like, she's still a prodigy like Gary. But, like, most of her tactics will always result and, like, lean towards overpowering an opponent. You saw that in the Koga match where it's like, Venomoth could catch Thunderbolts. Like, oh shit, how am I going to get around that? Get on top of it and blast it as hard as you can. And essentially its core was that. Gary's the strategist. He will think of outside the box techniques. He will mix and merge moves. You'll see a lot. I do, like, there's some fights in the tournament I skim over, particularly those of Green. Not like I go over the matches for Green that matter, but, like, if she's just facing, like, one of my buddies or, like, a trainer that doesn't have a chance, like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend. Like, I write a bit about the fight, but it's not going to be a full-blown, full written-out fight, because you guys have seen Green fight. You know how she fights. She got her entire own gym battle. Like, but Gary's battles, I do show fully, because I want to show off how Gary battles to you guys to kind of give it more of an impression than me just telling you guys outside. Because, like, not everyone watches these streams. And even if you watch these streams, who's to say whether you jump in the beginning or the end, or you rewatch the VODs where you catch all the information I give on how Gary fights. So Gary's fights will be shown a lot more, so you'll get more. When I say he's a very intelligent battler, you're going to understand that more when you see him fight in this tournament. Ash, it's kind of hard to say. He doesn't really have a battle style right now because he's so new. Like, all the cool stuff you see Ash do, like, all the stuff you see Ash do is usually stuff he's taken from other people or his Pokemon think of first. Like, let's go back all the way to the beginning with Weedle wrapping someone in String Shot and smashing them in the earth. Ash used that technique with Tangela, and he used that technique going forward with Beedrill, but Weedle's the one who did it first. Ash didn't think of it. So Ash is very good at incorporating things he's learned, but he's not good at creating things right now. You know? He might have the odd idea off the bat and stuff, but, like, he you know, he thinks of stuff on the fly. But but yeah, so that's kind of how they fight. Ash is still learning, and that's because the only reason Ash doesn't really have a definitive battle style right now is because he's still learning, and he has 7 regions to learn. You know, really, it's more like he learns in, like, the first 2 to 3 regions, all the way up to Hoenn is when he starts. Like, by Sinnoh, he has a battle style. Up till that, maybe he's still working on it, you know? And that's because I have to, like, I think, from Kanto to Sinnoh, it's about learning core fundamentals of battling, training, all that for Ash. Unova and onward, it's more character-based. It's more of challenges to Ash's mentality, challenges Ash as a person, his philosophy. Like, that's how Ash will develop in the future. I low-key want the new Ashmon being a Ninetales simp. Oh, that'd be funny. Paris, well known for their ninjas before the French Revolution. Yeah, I'm getting rid of the ninja village in France. It makes no sense. No, you're good, Harris. I just, you know, it's thing. Maybe, well, maybe I'll change my name to just Axolotl Guy. Don't worry. I always read your name after, it takes me a second, but I always read it as that one Axolotl Guy. Just funny. Put Ash in the best war just joke idea. There was a Pokemon war. Will Oak mention his cousin from Alola anytime before Sun and Moon? Possibly. I haven't really had a moment that I thought about it, but that is a fun note. I will have references to future characters. Like if a character makes sense to be in Kanto that is from a future region, like maybe in the timeline it makes sense for them to be in Kanto, there's no reason they can't be in Kanto. You know, I will see it. You'll see it as I go forward. I will see it in more and more. So I think, okay, so what would their D&D classes be? Green Barbarian, obviously, right off the bat. She is straight Barbarian. Gary's a wizard because Gary is very naturally talented. You could almost make him Sorcerer, but I think he's so intelligent. Like, because here's the thing. In my verse, when I say someone's a prodigy, that means they have a lot of natural talent. Green, Gary, very big showings of this. Richie is a normal average trainer. He's still pretty good, but he's a normal average trainer. Ash is very lucky. He just has powerful Pokemon that make up for his lack of skill. That, yeah, exactly. That's basically what I always say, It's because my brain works too fast for my mouth to keep up with, so I slur my words and I pause. But yes, Prodigy is like, it's not like a thing where it's like, they can just coast. Like, part of what makes Green and Gary prodigies is they're smart enough to utilize their talents and go forward with it. They just have a better natural starting point. Like, they're starting at level 15, Ash is starting at level 0, you know? And Richie starts at, like, level 1. That's kind of how I rank it. For Ash, that's a hard one, because he's so unskilled in general. Maybe he's at the moment, he's pretty basic. He'd probably be a fighter. Like, he's just not good. But, you know what? He's probably a bard. Ash is that's actually hard, because bard implies charisma. Ash has 0 charisma. Ash is maybe a cleric or a warlock, because he's calling upon his team of a stronger entity that is his team to make him stronger than he actually is. And it is kind of more warlock-ish, where he makes a pact with these Pokemon. It's like, hey, fight for me, and I'll do stuff for you guys, like, you know, keep you fed and healthy and happy. And they're like, okay, we'll give you our power to make you stronger. Just an off-topic question. Have you seen the Ash vs. Yugi battle? Yep, loved it. Loved the end result. Go Yugi. Is Ash going to sweep the first round in the league? Who's to say? We'll see. What's crazy about it, they could have used the Ninjas as the reason Greninja stays. Yeah, exactly. Gets to their Hokage Mon of Swords. That'd be funny. An episode of Pokemon Conquest would be fun. I love Pokemon Conquest. I played the shit out of that game. Any thoughts on which Pokemon Ash and Dawn will trade? We'll see. Who's to say Dawn is the companion in Sinnoh? 90% of the girls and men that have been replaced. I'm going to be honest. There's 1 or 2 people from canon that are still Ash's companions, but everyone else has kind of been replaced because it's so much more fun. Like, I love seeing when people talk about Giselle nowadays. My channel gets brought up. That is so much fun for me. Like, I've actually made Giselle, like, more popular in some ways. Not to toot my own horn. I'm still a low subscriber channel. This is more like, of 5 Reddit comments I've seen about me, like, if Giselle comes up, you know, my name is mentioned. You know, but I love doing stuff like that. What's the Pokemon's world's most popular credit card company? Whiscash. I love that. Oh, Splatter's like, I love puns so much. People hate them. I love puns. About Ash, his companions and Gary and Green, which of them are more dog people, which are more cat people? Brock and Green are dog people. Gary and Giselle are cat people. Ash has an annoying bird. Drinking, yes. I'll have 1 episode. I'll have 1 stream where I'll be drinking for something. Is that counting Brock? Yes and no. Because I'm not going to say whether Brock exists up until Sinnoh or not. But we'll see. Because I don't think Brock makes it. I haven't decided yet. I don't think Brock makes it all the way to Sinnoh. And that's simply because to stretch his character that far makes no sense to me, because it would just be when I can replace him with a more interesting male characters that I can actually give arcs to. Because Brock's main purpose is kind of be a solid person for Ash and Giselle to rely on. Not like, and he has his own subtle developments, and we touch more on his history and his goals as a breeder and him learning more. But like, he's not the main focus. You're going to actually see some Brock development in this tournament. You're going to see some Brock fun facts and more information about Brock. It's going to be a good time. Actually, Brock developed more in this tournament than I expected. Yeah, exactly, Alex. Alexander. I like the way you write your name. That's fun. Serena is definitely dead. She's 100% gone. 100%. I am like, you guys know me. I'm not for spoilers in the future too much. Serena's 100% gone. I hate Serena with a fiery passion. Fuck that character. She's so useless. ATR Ash will have more Pokemon, like more than 6. Only in Kanto. Everything else, he'll catch 5 new Pokemons on top of Pikachu. Maybe there's room for an additional 6 Mon on some of them, but mostly it will be sticking to teams of 5. And that's just for the reason why I'm doing that in Kanto. One, because it's kind of the nature of Kanto. It's kind of the nature of Kanto to show off. Like, I want to show off mechanics of that region and that of the game that happened in that region, like new types or new, like, things like breeding or like new evolution methods. So, for Kanto, showing off that if you catch more Pokemon that go to the box is something I want to do. Whatchamacallit? So Ash will catch more Pokemon in Kanto, simply because he also isn't really focused on, like, I want to keep a consistent, smaller team to focus them all more. But in an Outerverse way explaining it is that I want to make sure you guys know the Pokemon. Like, the additional Pokemon Ash catches will have strong personalities that I don't need to develop at all. And so you kind of understand them when they come on camera. But they, like, you'll never see outside Mons like that have arcs. They're more for strong Pokemon. Duplica was a character I considered. I did consider her. I just didn't think I had much of an arc I could take her on. Like, Giselle worked in a lot of ways for me. Can we expect Sans a skeleton cameo? Yeah, you're just gonna see Cubone with a Sans jacket at one point, and then Tangela dressed up like Papyrus. Pun from the video series called Dogs in Love is a... Jesus, the stream scares me sometimes. We think it goes connection disabled and connection reconnection. This internet in this house sucks. What's up, Hamza? I saw that video. I don't like Jello Apocalypse, but I saw that video back when I was a fan of him. How long do you think the next episode will be? Goal is the next episode will be January 3rd. If I get it done earlier and I decide I'm not going to do the month of Mayhem, you'll see it probably before Christmas, or after Christmas, the 27th. So it's either the 27th or the 3rd is when it gets released. But I'm trying to see if I can get an episode released throughout January. I'm debating on that because January is not a good month for views. So I feel like I might shoot myself in the foot. But regardless, if, say, I have 4 episodes prepped in January, or I'm working on 4 episodes, I might just do, you get an episode the 3rd, the 17th, and then the 31st. I know it's a long break between episodes, and, like, I mean, you would basically have a week off. Like, it'd be every other week is when you'd get an episode. Which, in some ways, maybe I get ahead on videos like that, and then you guys kind of get a more consistent flow if I do every other week like that. I'm not guaranteeing that, but we'll see. So I'm still deciding on it. So at least the 27th or the 3rd. And the only reason I say that is because I'm going to try and record audio today for the next episode. edit it today and hope, but like next week I have family coming in for Christmas. Obviously there's the winter holidays, so I'm not gonna have as much time, or like Christmas and all that, I won't have as much time to edit like I usually do, where I can just hard focus. But on the bright side, I have people who I live with people now, right? Like my mom, I've moved in with my mom right now to save money and get rid of debt and pay off taxes. So I have her, my brothers in my house, you know, all my siblings are adults. But like I have other people to take care of my dogs right now. So like, you know, or keep an eye on them. So I'm not like, my attention isn't as split as it usually is. I think Giselle has been one of my favorite characters I've written. I know some people think it might be Green. Giselle's one of my favorites, and it's simply because of you guys, actually. Because I know I took a huge risk including Giselle. That is not something most people can get away with, in my opinion. Like, I think most people, when they change too much of the anime, they get shit on by their comments, or like they get like people confused. I think my Q&A streams have helped a ton with that, because you guys get to ask me the questions rather than just ruminate on them, you know, and get no answers. But the fact that you guys have been so gung-ho about Giselle, asking, when is Giselle going to get a Pokemon? Is she going to compete in the league? Is she going to do this? Like, that's great. I love that you guys actually care about Giselle and want to see more of her and see more of her development, rather than be like, okay, when we get back to Ash, can we stop with the Giselle nonsense? All right, it's a Giselle episode today. Can we get back to Ash? So that's great. Here's an original pun of mine. An electrician working in Spain with bad Spanish gets shocked twice. What do they say? Zapdos. Oh, that's great. I enjoy Misty as a character, but she's kind of, yeah, she's just kind of there for Kanto and Johto until they give her a rival in Master Quest. Yeah, and they just never really do anything with her. Never got to ask her, which gym leader besides Brock, obviously, actually respects Ash? I think the one that, I think, like, Sabrina's curious about Ash more than she respects him. I think the one that respects him the most is Surge, because Surge likes Ash's style. The Sensational Sisters are appreciative of Ash for doing that task that helped out their city, but they don't, like, respect is a weird word to use for that. So, but I would say it would be Surge. Yeah, Aerodactyl is a possibility. I'm not going to say whether he does. Yo, give Ash a Duskull with a Sans jacket. No, and that's hilarious. Your honest opinion on 6'7"? I'm old and I think it's dumb. I'm 27. I don't get 6'7". I guess it's from a song or something. Whatever. It just tells me I'm old and my jokes don't matter anymore. All the jokes of my childhood are dead. And I look at the youth with envy and scorn. Not envy. I don't envy them for 6'7". I just look at them and I go, ugh, you kids. Will there still be that one episode where Ash is magically turned to Pikachu? Probably not. There's some weird verse stuff with that I'm probably not going to go into. Duplica being a rival to the contest companions. That's not a bad idea. If I need rivals for Hoenn, I have plenty of contest rivals in Sinnoh, so I'm not worried. Hoenn, though, that could be a fun one. I'll mark that down. Do you think Ash should still have a grass, water, or fire type, or at least two of those three? Not necessarily. He never is. I wrote the original teams with the idea I have to do a fire, water, grass core, or it's useful to do that. I think as long, Ash could have 4 fire types on a team, but as long as they all fight differently, I don't mind it. You know, I don't think necessarily he needs all of them. You know, because Ash isn't like, it's not like he needs a flyer to get around the region or a water type to surf in most regions, you know. And when I do, I could always have a companion fill that slot if I need to, or some situation. Props to you, MNJ. MNJ, yeah, way to be high. I have no weed, nor have I experienced it. Don't do drugs, kids. Anyways, back to my nicotine habit. Will there, so yeah, so like type distribution I don't care about too hard. And that's because I think what's more important is fighting differently. Like, obviously, maybe there might be a little move overlap. Like, let's say Ash has 2 water types. Obviously, if they both had Hydro Pump, it wouldn't be, like, the end of the world. But you could definitely see one that focuses more on ranged attacks. It has secondary moves of different types that the other Pokemon doesn't have. And one's more of a like, say, like, Liquidation isn't a move, like, in, you know, until later on. But let's say Liquidation was available earlier. Like, the other would use, like, Liquidation, Razor Shell, like, not that any like, not specifically like a Samurott or something, but just I'm speaking in general, where it'd be like more of a physical water type versus a special water type, or one that's more of a stationary fighter where the other's a speed fighter, stuff like that. Usually if I have multiple types on a team, the secondary moves make up for the type overlap. Yeah, if Brock does not make it to Sinnoh, he will have to teach Ash to cook sooner. What do you think, ATR Cast's favorite games or anime? I think we went over this once. Where, for Giselle, she definitely likes Ouran High School Host Club. She likes Horimiya. She likes the romance anime. She likes, like, a lot of shoujo. Brock, Food Wars. Food Wars. It's cooking and it has boobs. Brock probably has some secret love, like, because he's not as pervy in my version. I thought I would just write it as, like, off screen, he gets all gaga off girls, or, like, when a girl appears, he gets gaga, but I just don't talk about it. But he just kind of naturally develops into a more, like, mature person. I think he has a secret, like, love of those pervy anime. And that's where it kind of makes up for it. So that Ash likes battle anime. You know, probably, like, his favorite is probably One Piece. I think I made Green, she likes Naruto. And Gary likes Bleach. When it comes to other anime, Gary's definitely into mecha. I think he's a huge Gundam fan. I think he's definitely built Gundam minis before. Ash doesn't think too hard. I think he likes a lot of isekai animes where someone becomes overpowered. He's definitely like a solo leveling fan. He likes overpowered main characters because it's fun to watch. Green likes kind of more shonen in general, but, like, she'll diversify her tastes a bit more. She's not as, like, she likes to see the development more than Ash does. Yeah, so I think I covered everyone. Game-wise, Gary likes Minecraft and Solitaire. More strategy games. Maybe he's, like, a League of Legends player. You know, where it's kind of, like, more, like, tactical, quote-unquote. Ash likes Super Mario. It's very simple. Like, some platformers are fun for him. Green is a total, like, Tekken Street Fighter head. Giselle likes, like, kind of like, those story games where it's, like, kind of more like dialogue options. I forget what they're called. You know, but she likes those. Brock doesn't like video games, and not because he's, like, against video games. He just never had time for video games. Like, he could watch a show while he takes care of his baby siblings or something, but he can't play games. So he just never really got into video games. I predicted Giselle would catch a Lickitung instead of Nidos because I can see the contrast between two Pokemon being kind of fun, like Misty and Psyduck. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what's funny, Axolotl, you're in the mindset. It's one reason why I didn't give, like, Giselle, like, a Jigglypuff or something. Or it's why I give her both Nidos. Because I feel like if I leaned into Nidorina... visual novels, thank you, Misoji. Because if I give her a Nidorina, I felt like I was leaning too much into the girl aspect. And sure, there are some characters that are very girly. Like a Dawn or a Serena, where they'll have more traditional female members than they will male members. However, Giselle's not like that, and she is a girly person. She's more of a, like, she's more focused as a character in her intelligence than she is, like, her femininity. It's one of the reasons I didn't give her Togepi. Like, so I like to break the norm where you think, like, well, she's the girl, so give her the girl Pokemon like a Clefable or a Wigglytuff. So Lickitung is a smart... You're thinking like a Dollywop fan. You're thinking like Dollywop right there. If Dollywop does not, I think I know it originates from a song or something. My nephew and little bro say 6-7 time. Even my roommate says it. Oh, Harris, I feel bad for you. 6-7. I'm gonna kill myself. In Minecraft, in game, whatever. Don't ban me, YouTube. A late Hoenmon that wouldn't need much focus could just get ready to Nose Patch Roselia, Dusclops, Curlia, Snorunt. Yeah, exactly. Like there will be. I will definitely do at one point. Ash catches a late Mon in in a Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, whatever, and it, not specifically those regions. I just named regions. But he'll catch a Mon, like the Aipom example. He'll definitely do an Aipom situation where he catches a Mon early, like very, very late in a region, and it goes with him to the next one. Why did everyone barf at the metal? Because meta gross. Back old time, there is no meme. Hey, it's me, Goku. I love that meme. What do you think of the new Hatsune Miku? I mean, Mega Lucario. I actually love it. I actually think it's great. What is your favorite muse? Myself. When I look at myself in the mirror and I just see how damn handsome I am, I'm just like, God, I'm inspired right now. Ash would like Yu-Gi-Oh! Ash is a big believer in the heart of the cards. Ash would like MHA. By the way, the reason why I didn't name some anime is just because I couldn't remember them off the top of my head. But, like, you are correct. He is an MHA fan. He does like Yu-Gi-Oh! He would definitely love Dragon Ball Z. Him and Green both together. Like, actually, I think the trio of Ash, Green, and Gary all love Dragon Ball Z. Green's favorite character is Goku. Ash likes Vegeta because he's so cool. While Gary's more of a Piccolo fan. Visual novels, thank you. Ash had Oshawott and Palpitoad, and they both knew Hydro Bone for their battle styles. Yeah, exactly, Deshaun. Just like that. Telltale games, yes. Like, those would also be a genre that Giselle likes. I could see Giselle playing dating sims with a secret crush on one of the NPCs. Yeah, definitely, 100%. You've been thinking about Ash showing a shy Kabuto a lot recently. You know what? I just want to point this out. Like I said before, you're thinking like me here. You'd like, oh, it's a Kabuto. It's shy. That's interesting. That's something I would do. I'm not saying it's happening, but like, that's the Dollywop mentality. Where you take a Pokemon, you make it different than you think someone would normally do. Like, it's easy to be like, Ash gets the Growlithe and it's a loyal dog. It's like, no, like, yeah, sure. What if Ninetales? And it's just like this, like, more mysterious Pokemon. No, Ninetales a feral asshole. It's like, yes, stuff like that. Some are a bit more on brand. You know, Tangela being a goofy guy, I don't think you would look at it and go, like, that's a strange personality for a Tangela to have. It's a weird Pokemon. Having a weird personality like that is fun. But like then you have Cubone. If people thought Ash was gonna get Cubone, everyone thought it was gonna be the crybaby child of or traumatized child from Lavender Tower, and I made her this, you know, anime delinquent girl weeb, you know, and that's the stuff I like to do. Like I like to give you guys unique Pokemon. Now there's a realm of it where I don't, there's a realm of it where you don't want to go too far with it. And it's something I try and balance, where you don't want to make something so unbelievably weird in personality that it doesn't make sense anymore. Like, usually if it'd be a shy Kabuto, it would have some kind of arc where it gets braver, but retains some core traits. So its entire personality isn't just, I was shy once and now I'm not, you know. It would still have its moment, it would still have its quirks. Wizard fingers right now, as I think. If Brock had time to get into video, I see him enjoying either dating sims or Nintendogs, but would enjoy a Minecraft and Roblox sessions with his brother from time to time. Yeah, Brock would mostly, if he plays video games, it's mostly games for his siblings. He's probably picked up the Game Boy from his siblings and beat a Super Mario level for them that they just couldn't beat. I like mini tournaments in Pokemon, like only water type tournaments in Johto. Yeah, I can't wait. The Whirl Islands, I'll do a thing there. That'll be a fun time. I literally wrote Ash getting a Kabuto as a gift from Brock's dad for giving him the courage to seek out his family again. That's a fun way of doing that. See, like, that's a unique way. And see, you know what the best part about that is, Masoji? That makes sense. Like, it's Pewter City. Fossils come from Mount Moon, and, you know, and they're held there. Brock having Fossilmon and his family having Fossilmon makes sense with the narrative. Like, I didn't write it, but how Misty got Amistar was the Sensational Sisters contacted Brock's dad to get it, you know? That's how they did that. Like, that, because Cerulean and Pewter have a very good relationship because they both border Mount Moon, so they're both kind of responsible for it. So they work together in that regard. But you're thinking smart. You're not like, oh, Brock would give him, Brock's dad gave Ash, an Elekid. It's like, that doesn't make sense. Why would he give him a random electric type? It's like, oh, rock type, Fossilmon, it makes sense to give. That's smart thinking. Daisy still exists. Yes, I have not thought about her, but she will be a character. I'll do something with Daisy. Maybe even if she just appears when they all get back to Pallet Town at some point. But she was definitely the big sister of the group that kind of like kept an eye on the kids when they were too young to go out on their own. She was definitely babysitter. When you said that Pelletier Trio enjoys DBZ, would from time to time a family member of one of them will watch with them sometimes? If they did, it would be Daisy. She wouldn't get any of it though. She is not a Dragon Ball Z fan. She just doesn't care for it. Though she thinks Bulma's cool. Bulma would be another character that Gary likes because she's so intelligent. Yeah, Brock's definitely a Stardew Valley player. Kabuto comes out of its shell when it's evolved. Smart. Is motherless, turns into a delinquent. Cubo's personality makes sense. Yep. Cubo just lacked parents. That's why it's a delinquent. What if Sakura becomes a companion Johto? She was one of the considerations. I have the Johto companion locked in, but Sakura was one where, the problem with Sakura was the idea I had for her would so radically change her personality, that, like, it wouldn't be Sakura anymore. So, it's like, Gary likes Ultra Instinct. Green likes Super Saiyan 4. Specifically the Daima version. Rose is on a train. That's Rose, guys. That's Rose, who will also appear in the tournament. He doesn't have a channel, but he is also the guy I bounce ideas for. He came up with Cuba, like I stated before, he came up with Psyduck using Skull Bash to induce headaches. One of the best moves. One of the best things we've created for this. Ash probably likes basic Super Saiyan. Probably basic like that. Or Ultra Ego, because Vegeta has it. If a gym leader is kind of like the main guy who protects the city and the area around it, doesn't mean they have a good income. Yeah, 100%. I think Gary would also like Orange Piccolo, because he likes the symbolism of it all. He wishes it was introduced better, but he does like it. Villain-wise, of who their favorite villains are, I'm just... Villain-wise of who their favorite villains are in Dragon Ball Z. No one asked this, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I think Gary likes Cell. I think, well, I'm trying to remember all... I think Green likes Broly, and Ash likes Frieza. Because he was the first one. Does Giovanni still have his bastard son Silver? I don't know. That depends on what I write for the Johto arc. I have not written Johto out yet as what the plan is for that. I know the team, and I know some basic plot points that are going to happen. But I don't know if Silver still is a part of Johto. I'm still debating that. I got a funny idea for Ash to go to Hoenn. Ash landed on the plane in the Hoenn. Some of the fell on the head. He was like, it was like an irresponsible event. That'd be funny. Oh, Kid Boo. Thank you. Yes. Green loves Boo. That's a thank you. I was trying to remember all my yeah. Ash says a monkey with a hard Y. What would be the least favorite character of each member of the Paladin Trainer Dragon Ball Z? Also, what's up, Gonzo? That's a hard one. Green thing. No, I think Gary doesn't like Yamcha. I think for Ash, ironically enough, I don't think Ash is a Goku fan. Like, I think he likes the edgier characters, and Goku's too straight-laced for him. Green would like Gohan, so it wouldn't be that. Probably she probably wouldn't like Master Roshi because she doesn't like his gag, or she just doesn't get it because she's a kid, so she doesn't find it as funny. Ash likes Lord Frieza for reasons. That's right. Ash Ketchum in the ATR is a racist. I'm establishing it now. It's canon. Not actually. Can you believe Ash is a self-insert? What? No. If there was actually a show back in the 90s, there would definitely be fillers between each episode of Jim Bell. Yes, exactly. 100%. There would definitely be fillers, just like the canon. Probably not as crazy as Kanto based on how I've written this, but it is not. It would not be as, it would not be as, like, crazy as Kanto in canon, but it would still have filler. It'd have a good filler. Hello, Mankeys. Ash next episode. Yes, that did escalate quickly, G1 Quiznos. But hey, I see the jokes and I go there. Gary likes... So here's the reason, actually. Gary likes Cell more than Frieza because he likes the reason Cell was existed. He likes the whole scientific aspect behind it. Frieza's just like a powerful tyrant. And Ash, like, you know, like, it's kind of one of those things. When I say, by the way, they're their favorites, it doesn't mean like Ash rips off his shirt to have an I love Frieza, haha, monkeys shirt on and stuff. It'd be like if Ash had to pick a villain, it would probably be Frieza. Yeah, the Paladin Trio have watched a lot of different shows together. I don't know off the top of my head which would they be, but they watched a bunch. Which one of Ash's Pokemon most like you trust with your children, if you have any? Golduck. 100% Golduck. Golduck is the most responsible. My name's Ash Ketchum. Look at my trucker hat. Would the Palette 3 have Devil Fruits or Hockey or both? They'd have both. I think for Green's definitely like the gum fruit user of the trio. Like, she just likes the goofiness of it. Gary would have Law's fruit. He'd have the Opi Opi no Mi. Ash would, honestly, I could see him having to round out the trio here, he would have Kid's Devil Fruit just to, like, round off the trio of Law, Kid, and Luffy. But that's just because Ash would use it like Kid does, where it's more like punch, create giant metal hands, stuff like that. Or you'd have, like, Enel's Fruit, or Eneru, depending on what you call them. The Lightning Logia, which would kind of make sense for Ash in a thematic way, where it's like, he gets by on a Logia's natural ability to be immune to damage until Hockey's introduced, and then he has to actually learn. So for their favorite MHA characters, I think... Ooh, that's a hard one. I'm trying to expand, like... This is a side note. Ash and Gary would like Mirko. They'd like Mirko for reasons. It would be their, like, early childhood, like, oh. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I think, well, I mean, unironically, Green would like Mirako as a character because she's all about just like smashing and big personality. Gary, I think, like, I'm thinking beyond just like the main cast of like Class 1A. Gary likes Best Jeanist. I'm thinking like pro heroes only right now. Ash, I mean, All Might's the easy answer. I mean, Green's also an All Might fan, but if Ash had to pick another character, Edgeshot. I think he thinks Edgeshot is cool. I'm probably forgetting characters. Palatine has watched TMNT. Gary, Leonardo, Green, Raphael, Ash, Michelangelo. Simple as that. Yeah, Deshaun, that's accurate. Gary would like Z, Green would like GT, Ash would like Super. Green would 100% like All Might. Yeah, 100%. What superhero? I mean, the easy answer right off the top of the head, because it's kind of in a similar way I've structured them. Najir. I mean, I love Najir. I don't think she'd be anyone of their favorites, but they would all love Najir. Because who can't love Najir? I think, I mean, like, easy answer, Gary, Batman, Ash, Superman, Green, Wonder Woman. But if we're going for more obscure choices, Gary likes, like, I'm gonna go for not obscure, quote unquote, but like just different than like the most like known DC characters. I'll go to Marvel in a second. Gary definitely likes The Question. Wait, is that his name? Am I messing up one of the best Justice League animated series characters? Yeah, Gary would definitely like The Question, or what's his face? Jason Blood, Etrigan. He would like them. Green, who are some brutal, just straight up fighters? She'd like the Flash. She would find him funny. Actually, Ash would be the Flash. Ash, he's not obscure like that, but like what I'm thinking of. But it's kind of hard to pick. I try to, like, I'm going through my DC roster, and usually I'm better at this, but my on stream, my brain IQ goes down. Okay, there it is. Well, that sucks. But I think we're going to take that as a sign to wrap up stream right now. So thank you for watching. I'll answer more questions later. Maybe I can do a phone stream where we do more of this. But we were going for like a good hour and some change. So for now, thank you all for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.